There are many paths in Vedanta. There's Dvaita Vedanta, which is the path of duality. Yeah, Dvaita, which is Purusha and Prakriti. That is also Vedanta. Yeah. Then there is a Dvaita Vedanta, which is duality, non-duality path. Yeah. So there are many paths, different paths in Vedanta by different sages and rishis of those times. Different paths appeal to different people. Different paths worked for different kind of ascetics. At that time, they were spiritual seekers were mostly ascetics, not many lay people like you and me. Yeah. So different paths appeal to different kinds of ascetics at that time. So there are many different kinds of Vedanta. Yes, Advaita Vedanta has been propagated like a cherry on the top because it has worked for a lot of people, and the other Vedantas have not become so popular because they worked for a smaller section of society maybe. Yeah. So Advaita has this big popular name because it worked for a lot of people. So yesterday I was talking to, I don't remember who, but we came up with, let's start with simple. You close your eyes for 10 minutes. You recognize the knower, or if you recognize in 2 minutes, great. The moment you recognize the knower, you just give yourself 2-3 minutes there. Don't give yourself long because you can get lost in the mind, and you know that as an experience, right? Before you get lost in the mind, you have to slowly open your eyes and start experiencing knowingness, that which we were discussing as the third leg of the meditation. Yeah, that object is just a table, and it is, for me, it is nothing but a form. The form is nothing but shape and color, and there is just seeing happening. Is the seeing happening there outside where the table is, or is the seeing happening here? You notice that seeing happens here. Hearing, even if the word is very far away, hearing happens here. Are you getting it? If the flower is at the end of the room, the smelling happens here. Touching happens here. Tasting happens here. What is here? Is here very far away from knowing? No. Knowing is seeing. Knowing is touching. Knowing is smelling. Knowing is tasting. They're not two different things. They're two different labels. Oh, everything is actually knowingness. Knowing of an object. The of an object is just an assumption in the sentence. I don't know if the object exists or not. Oh, this is just knowingness. And in that knowingness, in that pool of knowingness, these objects arise, they play for a while and they go away. The people come, the people go. Everything is changing. With open eyes, you are doing this in your room. After the preliminary 2-3 minutes of closed eyes, you've come to the knower, and from there, you have slowly opened your eyes and you're doing this with objects in the room. Yes? We'll do it with husband, wife, and child later. Huh? We just start with simple objects. Yeah, when this becomes very clear with objects, then you can open your window and start looking at a stranger first. Please, not your husband, wife, or child. You will not be able to do that immediately. Look at a stranger walking on the road. It's just seeing. Seeing is just knowing. And if he's singing a song or talking loudly, hearing. Hearing is just knowing. Yeah? There is just knowing. See a dog pass by, or a cat playing, or a bird, a tree. Knowing. This is all knowing. There is no proof that I have that matter exists out there. Now when you become comfortable with neutral objects. I call them neutral because they're not evoking any feelings within me. I am only at the level of perception right now, not at the level of feelings right now. Yeah? Who evokes feelings? Your dear family member enters, and what happens to your knowingness? All chaknachur. Yeah? So you can't start there. You have to start with basic objects, then move on to neutral objects, neutral human, stranger on the road, dogs, cats, birds, trees, sky, buildings. And you become very comfortable. Then you start with humans. It's a process. It will just slowly, slowly, like a petal opens slowly, slowly, slowly. It's going to open one by one. And you'll get there. It's not rocket science. It's not very different from where we are. It's just a breaking down of old concepts, a breaking down of old ideas, a breaking down of old conditioning. I have been conditioned that this object is a trackpad, that object is a computer, that object is a camera, that is a light. When I was a little baby in the cradle, just born, did I know objects? No. All I knew was perception, whatever I was seeing, whatever I was hearing, whatever I was touching, and the sensation it created in my body. You're getting it? A little baby in the cradle just knows the perception of that little toy that makes a sound, and the perception of the sound and the sensation it creates in its body. And he's reacting, he's smiling, he's happy just listening to the sound. There is just perception of sound and the sensation created in the body. That is pure experiencing. After that, everything is conditioning. You were taught, this is an apple, this is a ball, this is a cat. Remember? Yeah, you do the same. These are initial conditionings. Then there are lots of conditionings we have gathered from our friends, from our family, from relatives, from TV, from other people behaving in a different way with other people, from colleagues. Yeah? Conditioning has led to a personality. And this personality is the problem. Yeah? Breaking down of the conditioning, going back to what I originally am, what I am in my pure experience, pure. And nothing but perceptions, sensations, thoughts, and feelings. That's all. That is my reality. That is all that I experience, and that is not different from knowing. And knowingness is Brahman. Brahman Satyam. Jagat Mithya. The world as I perceive it is an illusion. Jagat Mithya. It is so simple. It is so simple. Right now we did the meditation. Yeah? You don't have to close your eyes. You don't have to go sit on the Himalayas for 20 years. You don't have to follow a guru. You don't have to go sit in a temple. You don't have to light that candle. You don't have to wear crystals and gems and malas and threads and... No. Nothing of that sort. Kabir said, Tera Sai tujh mein hai, tu jaan sake to jaan. Your Lord is right within you. If you have it in you, recognize Him. Tu jaan sake to jaan. No. It happens simultaneously. It's like a one petal opening, then the next petal opening, then the next petal opening, next petal. But It doesn't mean that one petal opens only after the other. There are sometimes two petals opening together. Yeah? Two petals maybe are stuck together. There are many versions. As many people as there are, that many paths there are. Yeah? This was just a simple outline of what happens in a broader sense to everybody. That is only on the Vedic side. Become very clear. We are in Advaita session right now. Okay? So, on the path of Advaita, it's very clean. You come directly to knowingness. Direct path. We're not talking about anything else. Yes, you get a preview and then you decide whether you want to see the full movie or not. The moment you decide you want to see the full movie, you are going to yourself start doing your own work. It is that simple. Because you will recognize this is my obstacle to going to the Dauladhar ranges in the Himalayas. I have to get rid of these obstacles so I can make that trip. It's a once in a lifetime. Yeah, I have to do it. So that happens, of course, to a selected few. And if you are a lucky Advaitan, that will be your path. Bhranti, I explained, no, to whom is it really happening? It is to the knower. I explained already that it is not that the ego is going to go away. Yeah? I told you everything will remain intact. The only thing that will happen is ignorance will be replaced by jnana. That's it. The conditioning, the ideas, concepts, the wrong understandings, all that were formed will break and crumble. In its place is just true knowledge of the knower, who I am. The knower comes in power. The wrong person is in power right now.
So once the knower is in power, is there a chance that again my old concepts would come, or is it once and for all?
It's a journey. It will depend on you how strong you have made the knower. Yes? Sometimes presidents get elected and then impeachment happens. Yeah? So some people slip. It totally depends how strong you are. Totally depends on the strength of the knower. Got it? Yes. For you should assume it's an endless journey. Yes? It's going to take me a very long time. I know my destination. To become 100% pure, maybe I take very long time. I'm not going to bank on the duration and sit and make an account of that. I'm going to enjoy the journey. Yes? Again and again, be in the knower. Again and again, be in the knower. When it has to happen, let it happen. Otherwise, if you keep looking at the duration, oh, it's not happening, what are you giving power to? The ego. Yeah? Again, you've come into the front. You have to again give power to the knower. You see that? Yeah. Don't get into the ego and its aspirations. Just be knowingness, knowingly. The objects are not going to change. The objects are going to be the way they are. Yeah. Right now, I see object and I see that it has consciousness or it doesn't have consciousness. As I move ahead, I will start seeing consciousness is the ocean and the objects arise in this ocean and go away from this ocean or dissolve back into the ocean. That is the difference that is going to happen. It will automatically graduate to that level. When you are just getting the glimpses, it might be little It will be a small glimpse of the full range. But the domain range is full. Yeah? When you graduate to that level, it is moment to moment, moment to moment, moment to moment. Maybe as a beginner, you do not see it, but that is the end goal or end station. Who is this I? Who is asking this question? It is the knower that is the real I. The knower has forgotten that it is the I, has assumed the form of the ego, and is now looking for a new challenge, a new aspiration, a new thing to do, and is asking this question. Again and again, drop this and go back to who you are, who you truly are. Just the knower, just the knowingness. There are no questions there, there are no answers there. Be in that field of no questions and no answers. Come back home.